Right, so I used to think that the bigger my screen and the more stuff I could pile on my desk, the more productive I had the potential to be. But recently, I realized that bigger isn't necessarily better. And so when Apple announced the new lineup of iMacs a few weeks ago, I realized it's the perfect excuse to simplify and minimalize my desk setup. But first, let's start by tearing down the old one.
I start by taking stock and wondering how my life ended up in such a profound mess. Like honestly, where does all this junk even come from? I say goodbye to the multiple keyboards, the books, and my anti-fungal nail cleaner before sorting out the various cables and unplugging all of my devices. It takes half an hour to dismantle the 49-inch ultra-wide monitor, and we say goodbye to the trusty Mac Mini. We give the desk a wipe and a clean, and now it's time to unbox the new iMac. It's the most cleverly designed box I've ever seen, with fancy compartments for all the different bits. I get everything unboxed, get everything set up, plug in just a single cable, and we're good to go.
Let's dive into the tour. So the first thing that's obviously powering the entire thing is the 2021 M1 iMac. This is currently the base model, so it's only got 2 Thunderbolt ports, 8 GB of RAM, and a 256 GB solid state drive. That is absolutely tiny. I have a fully beefed out one that's on the way that's going to arrive in about 6 weeks. I've upgraded that to 16 GB of RAM and 2 TB of the hard drive. And this bad boy is connected to the CALDIGIT TS3 Thunderbolt dock via a single USB-C cable, which snakes underneath the desk so you can't really see it. This dock is absolutely amazing. I used to have it connected to my M1 Mac Mini. Again, that only had 2 ports. There's a real problem with like these recent random Apple products that they don't have enough ports. And so right now the CALDIGIT dock has an Ethernet cable attached to it. It's got my ELGATO cam link. It's got my Shure SM7B microphone connected to the 2i4 audio interface. The main accessories for the iMac are the ones that came with the product. So we've got the new blue, like sky blue, whatever it's called, Apple keyboard and Apple Magic Mouse. Sadly, the keyboard is the one without the Touch ID because I didn't get the spec'd out version. That's on the way in about 6 weeks. And I've also got a Magic Trackpad on the way because I like that to be a staple part of my desk setup. In terms of speakers, I'm still using the KANTO U2 white speakers. These are absolutely amazing. They're so pretty, they look nice, they go with the blue and white kind of aesthetic, and they sound amazing as well. And those are connected via USB-A to the CALDIGIT dock, which is then connected to the iMac. In terms of other things we've got connected to the dock, we've got firstly the Ethernet cable, which gives me wired internet. At the moment, it's 300 megabits down and 50 megabits up, which is not too bad. Secondly, we've got the FOCUSRITE 2i4 audio interface. Now, normally my Shure SM7B microphone is plugged into this, and that's plugged into the Cloud Lifter preamp to give it a little bit more gain. And that's the audio setup that I generally use when I'm recording a podcast or recording a voiceover for a video or teaching live sessions of my course, the Part-Time YouTuber Academy. Also connected to the dock, we have the Elgato Cam Link 4K. This is a little USB dongle type thing that lets my camera connect via HDMI to the computer. So again, if I'm really trying to flex on a Zoom call or in a teaching session for the YouTuber Academy, I can use the output from this camera to kind of stream via Zoom, and everyone's like, oh my God, I can't believe your camera setup is so good. Thanks to the fact that the new iMac has a decent webcam and actually pretty reasonable built-in microphones, though, I probably won't need to use a lot of the external camera, external mics for most of my Zoom calls these days, which is kind of nice. Makes me a bit more of a minimalist. Right next to the dock, we have this set trilogy from Austin Kleon. We're starting off with Steal Like an Artist, and then Show Your Work, and then Keep Going. These are books that I've had on my desk for the last few months. And it's really nice because if I'm in a bit of a slump, I just pick up a random one of them and open it to a random page, and I always end up learning something, and they serve the side effect of hiding the cables behind my desk. And in terms of the other accessories, right now I've got this Le Creuset teapot thing in blue. It's got some English breakfast decaffeinated tea in it because it's the evening and caffeine after 2 p.m. is bad for you. But this sort of goes with the blue vibe of the whole desk setup as well. And of course, what desk setup would be complete without the fake IKEA Vegka potted plant or Fica or whatever you end up calling it. This is nice because it adds a little splash of greenery, and I've had this exact same one on my desk setup since like 2015 or something like that, so it's been with me for a while. Moving on to the other side, firstly, I have a deck of cards. Again, this is blue. It's all coincidence, but like blue is my favorite color. I feel like blue is my personal accent color, and so it's kind of nice that all the stuff on my desk is some shade of blue in some capacity. Oh God, missed that one. That was all right. That was all right. That was all right. And then right next to the deck of cards, I've got my UGMONK analog. This is a paper to-do list system. You guys have seen me talk about it before. It's a bit overpriced for what it is, but it's really nice. It's really nice design. It's the walnut wood, and it comes with this like bunch of cards. So you have like a card for every day, and you can write your paper to-do list. Then you have some cards for next. Then you have some cards for someday. Mostly it's the today cards that I use because I like having a to-do list on paper. and it just feels nice and feels aesthetic. And then the really cool thing is once you write it down on paper, then you can like prop it up in the dock thing. And this is just kind of cool. This looks really awesome, and it helps me keep track of all the things I need to do in a day. The only other thing on the desk itself is this TOMONS lamp, which has a nice kind of Pixar looking look with a Philips Hue light bulb inside it. In fact, we've got Philips Hue light bulbs all around the living room and in my bedroom as well, so I can always change the lights if I want a different kind of setup. For example, Alexa, turn on Read in the living room. Ooh, bit yellow. Or Alexa, turn on Spring Blossom in the living room. So having talked about all the stuff on the desk, let's talk about the desk itself. Now this is the fully JARVIS bamboo. I think this is about 180 centimeters. Philly very kindly sent this to me about 2 years ago, and I absolutely love it. It's an electronic standing desk, and I often switch between sitting and standing modes. And the other piece of furniture, this is the Herman SAYL. This is a very, very, very nice chair. I've got it in white and blue, again, to match the aesthetic, and it's the most comfortable desk chair I've ever used. It's amazing, would recommend. Then on the side of the desk, we've got an IKEA Alex drawer unit. Sadly, it's in black. I really wish it were in white, but I haven't changed it since I first got it like 2 and 3 years ago now. And in the drawers, we've got an absolute mess of a load of stuff. I need to figure out a way of organizing this and Marie Kondoing my kind of desk setup drawer. And then on the floor right next to the Alex drawer unit and underneath the desk, I have got my ALIENWARE gaming desktop PC. Currently, I have no way of actually plugging it into anything because sadly I can't use the iMac as an external display. But what I'm thinking about doing at some point, if I really want to be supremely unproductive, is getting one of those L-shaped standing desks. And so having like the iMac as the productivity setup on one bit of it and having like a Windows gaming PC setup on the other side. That's the absolute dream, so I'm working on making that happen. Underneath the desk, we also have these hooks, which have magnetized to the underside of the desk. And on one of them, I have the SWITCHPOD. This is a nice tripod that I use for my camera sometimes if I'm vlogging. And occasionally I'll use the other hooks for keys or for headphones or things like that, but generally it's a SWITCHPOD I've got underneath. And finally, in terms of cable management, I'm using these wire mesh type things to hide some of the cables. And the challenge with cable management with a standing desk is that you want the cables to be managed when the desk is in sitting mode and also in standing mode. Right now, I haven't really done a great job of this, and the ALIENWARE is hiding most of the mess of cables, but the white stuff does make a difference. And then on the other side of the desk, where I've got an extra extension pot, I've hidden that inside this white plastic containery type thing, which hopefully makes the entire desk look as cable-free as possible. I think overall I've done a pretty good job of the cable management on the desk. Like, you generally can't see a cable in sight. That's because they're all hidden behind, you know, this massive books by Austin Kleon. So that's the desk setup. If you like this, you should definitely hit the subscribe button because I am looking to upgrade this with an L-shaped desk and be a little bit less minimal than this setup. And if you like this video, you might like to check out this video over here, which is my review of the brand new M1 iMac. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.